The sea gently sways the cabin of the lost faith. A flickering lantern casts shadows over the wooden walls. Half-Leaf sits at a makeshift desk, staring at an empty leather-bound journal scavenged from a raided triad vessel. In his hand he holds a fancy, ornate pen, spinning it between his fingers. With a deep breath he begins writing.
You never know when fate will tap you on the shoulder, or, in my case, shout through static on a busted radio. I don't believe in coincidences. Never have. When I found that radio, humming like it was waiting for me, I knew it was a sign, and I've seen more than most.
He glances toward the cluttered corner where the radio sits, its dull hum a constant reminder of the intercepted message.
It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Just another day on the seas. We came across a ship, a triad vessel, more rust than steel, and after a quick scuffle with what remained of their crew, we scavenged what we could. I was looking for supplies, maybe some old tech to barter. But that radio, that was different.
Half-Leaf pauses, lost in thought, remembering when he first washed ashore on the Lost Kingdom's beaches.
It all started when I was just a boy, no more than 7. I don't remember much from before, only my Bible. I washed ashore clutching it, alone. The monks of the Lost Kingdom found me, took me in. They believed it was a sign, that I had been spared by some greater purpose. They raised me, taught me their ways, the ways of mana, how it flows through all things, how it shapes the world around us. They trained my body, my mind, and my spirit. But they also told me the legend of the Naha stone.
Half-Leaf pauses, only for a moment as he recalls the legend of the Naha stone.
When the new world was forged, the islands of the old world were brought together, birthing the Lost Isles. On one such island came the legend of the Naha stone. It was said that whoever could lift the Naha stone would possess divine strength and become a great leader, destined to unite the islands. The massive stone belonged to the noble Naha clan, and only those of royal Naha blood were believed worthy to attempt the feat. Many had tried, but none had succeeded. Then came Kamehameha, a young chief from a lesser line, not of Naha blood. Despite the doubts and scorn of the elders, he approached the stone with unwavering determination. As the crowd watched in disbelief, Kamehameha not only lifted the immense stone, he overturned it completely. This incredible feat was seen as a sign from the gods, a testimony that Kamehameha was chosen for greatness. In the years that followed, he fulfilled the prophecy by uniting the Lost Isles. He became the first king, and from that day forward, the Isles became known as the Lost Kingdom. I've dreamt of becoming the next man to lift the stone since I was a boy, to prove that I am King Kame incarnate. But despite all my attempts, I haven't even made it budge. The monks told me to be patient, that it may take a lifetime of training to lift the stone. But the seas called to me louder than the temple's bells. I left when I was old enough and joined the Lost Kingdom's navy. That's when I met Kali Hook. We were top of our class, both promoted to captain right out of the academy.
He hesitates, recalling the night he lost his ship and most of his crew.
My ambition clouded my judgment and I lost the trust of the navy. Kali Hook rose above me, but he didn't forget our bond. When he became the chief commander, he gave me a second chance. A new ship, the Lost Faith. So I went to him with Raymond's message.
So you're telling me you picked up some stranger's voice on a stolen radio, and now you want us to jump into someone else's fight? You've been a captain again for what, 3 weeks? And you think you've got the right to tell me what's what?
This isn't just any fight. The Chimera are evolving, and Raymond, he's one of the enhanced. He knows what's coming, and if we don't act now, it's going to be too late.
Bah. Enhanced or not, we've got our own problems. The sea-born Chimera aren't going to stop hunting our shores just because some stranger says there's a bigger fish out there.
He leans in closer, his voice lowering.
The Lost Kingdom has survived by taking what we need. We don't work for free. We don't follow other people's wars. We sure as hell don't answer to voices on the wind.
I knew Chief Kali Hook wouldn't take kindly to it. The man's always been focused on keeping the Lost Kingdom afloat. He ordered me to stand down, which makes what we are about to do that much harder. The longer I listened to him dismiss this threat, the more certain I became. The Admiral's message was a sign, and you don't ignore a sign when it slaps you in the face. So, I did what I had to do. I went to the Naha stone.
Half-Leaf kneels by the Naha stone, planting his hands firmly on its rough, weathered surface. With a deep breath, he begins pulling at the stone with all his strength, but the stone doesn't budge. His mentor, the old monk, watches him. He grits his teeth, trying again, this time with a roar of effort, but the stone remains as immovable as ever. Finally, exhausted and frustrated, he falls to his knees.
The stone calls to me, yet it will not move. I don't understand.
You cannot lift the stone because you have not yet become the man to lift it.
I thought this was my destiny.
The stone waits for the one who has learned patience, humility, and strength of heart. It will rise when you are not seeking to lift it for yourself, but for others. When the time is right, the stone will lift itself. The one who stands before it will only guide it from the earth.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
Your challenge isn't the stone, it's how you decide to answer to destiny. Seek not what is heavy, but what is true.
Half-Leaf is interrupted from his thoughts as the radio picks up a signal.
This is Admiral Richard Raymond. Half-Leaf, can you hear me?
This is Captain Half-Leaf of the Lost Faith. We're ready. What's our next move?
Set sail for the shores of the Ryukeloni. Convince them the threat is real. They never walk away from a challenge.